Hello, viewers, and welcome to the NMUC Spotlight. My name is Said Wakar Hassan Zaidi, and today on our show we have a very special guest from Netherlands, Mr. John, who has spent over 20 years in maritime logistics. Welcome, John, to the NMUC Spotlight.
Thank you, Hassan. My name is John Legierse. I am one of the founding fathers of NMIT at the time. I met Dato Razali back in 2007. And he had this brilliant idea of setting up a Netherlands Maritime Institute, which I, of course, was very eager to help. My background is actually in marketing, education, and training, but for the last 15 years, mainly on the maritime side. So happy to be here. We established NMIT. I'm still always willing to assist and see where there are opportunities for NMIT, now NMUC, where we can go.
Thank you, John. The reason why today we are having this podcast is that there are a lot of exciting things going to come. And we thought it's good that for viewers to know what sort of things that they can expect in the next couple of years. Probably, John, would you like to highlight?
The first thing we will start working on is the conference. NMUC had the first conference this year, early September, in Putrajaya. It was a great success, but of course, there's always room for improvement. So we already start planning for the next conference in early September 2025. So that will be my first task, to work on that. And hope to bring in more Dutch exhibitors, participants, hopefully sponsors, and see if we can improve on the latest version.
Excellent. I think this is going to be very exciting, John, because many of the Malaysian companies would like to collaborate with European countries. What sort of companies are we looking at from the European market?
Of course, all will be maritime related. And they will be looking eagerly at Asia because that is the biggest market in the near future. So I'm sure they want to be represented here in Malaysia and Southeast Asia. I have always been close to a lot of Rotterdam companies, close to Port of Rotterdam. But as you know, Rotterdam has a maritime history, or Netherlands rather has a maritime history. So there are a lot of potentially good participants for the conference. I have no specific idea yet, but I think last year we already established 2 participants, but I'm sure that I'm convinced that we could be more next year.
I understand, John, you used to work with the STC before.
Yes, that's true.
Perhaps you would like to elaborate a little bit more about your work with the STC?
Yeah, sure. STC is the Shipping and Transport College in Rotterdam. Used to be one of the biggest colleges and educational institute on maritime, anything maritime, shipbuilding, seamen, port management, etc. Of course, Rotterdam has a big name in ports. I came from the Rotterdam International Safety Center, where I was marketing the international training center for firefighting mainly, but also shipboard firefighting. And that's how I got in touch with SEC. And they asked me to join on the consultancy department, mainly for training for ports, for port staff, for safety staff. That's how I got into the more maritime related side of the marketing I did in the past.
All right, thank you. That's really great. John, how about, I understand that you're also collaborating with industry.
Yes.
And that is something very interesting for our students. Because, students after graduation, the first thing they would like to do is to have their internship placements, and they would like to have their job placements. And I understand that you have a very strong network with industry.
True.
Probably, would you like to share a bit more on how we're going to work on that?
Yeah, there are several options. There's the option that students can go to the Netherlands to do their internships, as much as we have Dutch students coming here. And of course, there will be more and more, hopefully, more Dutch companies or European companies coming to Malaysia and set up their own, and they could very much use the help of the students here. That would be a fantastic opportunity to them.
Right. I think this is something really, really interesting for our students.
Yes.
Because through this collaboration, the students will have the opportunity to go to Netherlands, or is it just limited to Netherlands, or we are looking at the entire Europe?
Well, the bulk of my network, of course, is in the Netherlands, but I have also good contacts in Germany and Italy and UK.
I understand that we're going to expand a little bit or on our Erasmus program. For viewers, just to let you know, Erasmus program is a program where we have exchange program with European institutions. So students and staff can actually go to Europe on exchange program, and likewise, lecturers or the students from the European universities and institutions, they can come over and either teach or they can be part of NMUC. So this is a very special program that NMUC has with the Dutch partners, but we would like to expand this to the other European countries. So, John, you will be working with us on the expansion of this Erasmus program.
Yeah, because I think it's very, very important to exchange knowledge from both sides.
Absolutely.
Here, you're in a rapidly developing area, and Rotterdam and the Netherlands, Europe is, let's say, used to be the more developed side of the business, everything maritime. But for instance, European ports were supposed to be the biggest for the last 20, 30 years. But if you see for the last 5 or 10 years, you see the Chinese ports are the top 10, I think.
You're absolutely right. But
so there's so much knowledge to exchange, and let's push each other to a higher level.
You raised a very interesting point here. And how do you see in Europe the Chinese ports? Because I mean, it's not. I think in top 10 there are about 7 ports, if you include Hong Kong as well.
Yeah.
So 7 ports. In fact, number 1 port in the world is Chinese port.
Yes.
So how do you see in Europe?
Yeah, well, it's a logical development because they have the biggest markets. There are far more people in Asia than there are in China alone is 1.1 billion or 1.2 billion.
Yes.
Even more than that. While the European market is 250 million, 300 million max, I think.
Right, John. Recently you see during pandemic, a lot of institutions start offering online education. And after that, many institutions choose to remain offering online, or they start offering hybrid program or blended learning. I understand, we as NMUC, we are also offering a port management program, diploma in port management, which is on ODL mode. And I believe that, we live in a borderless world. And if we are able to get the European lecturers to deliver some of the subjects, especially on port management, do you think there's a possibility for us to explore on that?
Absolutely. I mean, it is the way forward, I think, especially when Corona boosted this online development, not just education, but meetings and everything. Traveling got more difficult. So online meetings were people working at home online. So yes, it's definitely the way forward. And whether they like it or not, we think we have to. And of course, you can much easier reach a broader audience to exchange your knowledge. Yeah, it should be a good way for NMUC. And I think if we can combine forces with European teachers, also sort of exchange of knowledge there on board, it would be. And you can even do live television as well. With on the screen, you can ask questions. Q&A is a possibility as well. So
Yeah, I understand. I think the NMUC is building up a smart classrooms whereby our audience can actually have lectures delivered by the lecturers from Europe and so on. And I think you are working on one of the project where, especially on the diploma in port management, where probably about 50% of the lectures will be delivered by the European lecturers.
Yeah, and it will also make the programs less expensive because you don't need to bring over the teachers themselves, travel costs and everything, a shorter period of time. They can prepare a video and just deliver at a reasonable price. So it will be especially good for the students.
Yeah,
they get more information, more knowledge on a shorter notice.
Yeah, and I think it's also good for the industry.
Yeah,
because we can actually convert these lectures into a micro credentials, and these micro credentials can later be offered to the industry as well.
Yeah, and I think the industry should be involved in more ways than one in education, because they should tell us this is the kind of staff we're looking for, and they should have these and these skills, and the market is changing because they all have to know about AI, about other innovations, IT. It's such a rapid development that I think the demands from the industry will also change.
I think you raised another very important issue, that the demands are changing, the market trends are changing, and they are changing so rapidly.
Yes.
Do you think that there is a need for us to develop a human capital blueprints? And if so, these blueprints, how rapidly these blueprints are changing?
Yeah, because it will definitely be developing very rapidly. So there should be someone or some institution that keeps developing these blueprints. There will be new blueprints every 5 or 10 years because the market is changing so much that people should be prepared. And I think anyway that the industry should have an influence on the level of education, what they're looking for. Because we see this problem in Europe already, where there is a lack of, for instance, technical staff. Because all the people, all the students, they want to go for law or doctor, or but they should also look at the technical side because there's so much in demand. Now we have to get them abroad, while their own market is still looking for these people. So if we can include that in our curricula, that would be great.
And I think you have been with the industry for many years. And I do believe that, with your affiliation with NMUC, we will be offering some kind of consultancy services to the industry. And maybe can you elaborate a little bit more for our viewers to understand what sort of projects that we will be working on? Yeah.
What I did mostly also with SEC was port development projects,
right?
Where they have to adjust to the new demand, to new rules and regulations, which got more and more stricter. We now have got to work with all kinds of changes in the environmental circumstances of the port. Sustainability is a big issue, decarbonization. So I think the ports they don't have those people on board yet. So they need to get it from consultancy companies, also how to build the facilities in a more better logistic way, etc. So there's a broad range of consultancy issues we can deliver.
Yeah. And I think if you look at nowadays, a lot of disruptions are taking place, and every port, every logistic company is subject to some kind of disruptions.
Yeah.
And these disruptions can actually affect the sustainability of their business and their operations.
Absolutely.
And with that, it affects their bottom line, the financials. Do you think there is a need for us to develop a sustainable or more resilient business model for ports?
Yes, but it will be a model that we have to keep adjusting. it.
Yeah.
We should write the basic model,
Yes.
but then keep adjusting it with the developments that take place in the market, and immediately adjust, keep everybody on their toes to keep in line with the requirements. So, yes, that's definitely an option, and that is basically a consultancy matter.
Consultancy.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Good. Thank you for your time, John. It was a pleasure having you on the NMUC Spotlight. Any message that would you like to share with our students or our viewers for what should they be looking forward to?
They should be looking forward to a rapidly evolving market. So it will be a continuous learning. They should keep their spirits up, because the last time I attended also an event in Rotterdam, and one of the questions was I've just finished my study for being a seaman, and now we're all talking about unmanned vessels. So what am I going to do in the future? So be prepared. Think with it. We'll still need a lot of people, maybe, but a slightly different learning curve.
You also mentioned something about smart vision. Would you like to share on the last note with our viewers what is smart vision all about?
Smart Vision is an event that is organized by STC, your partners, where it is mainly speakers about innovations in ports, in shipping, in warehousing, in logistics. So the very interesting developments where AI comes in, where virtual reality comes in, simulations, etc. So my suggestion was, if we have the conference next year in September, try to have one day in a sort of smart vision model, and bring it to the Asian, Malaysian market. Could start here, and we can also do it several times a year if possible. If NMUC could organize that, maybe get some local organizations involved, because, like I said, this whole IT and innovation thing is developing so rapidly. I think every 6 months you can tell a new story.
Great. So thank you once again, John. It was a pleasure to have you on the NMUC Spotlight. And I believe you're going back on this Saturday.
Yes.
So have a safe flight.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right. Thank you, viewers, for joining us today. I hope that you get some good insight on what to expect in the next couple of years in the maritime industry and with Netherlands Maritime University. Thank you, and see you again.